City News on TV Rotorua is proudly brought to you by Rotorua Central.
Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News. The council has scrapped plans for the proposed Victoria Street arterial project. Hundreds dressed up in their pink best last night for the Rotorua Breast Cancer Trust's annual Pink Walk, and replacement medals for the ones stolen at the National Gym Sport Champs have been received by MIGS gymnasts. The council has scrapped plans for the proposed Victoria Street arterial project and will now remove it from future planning following a review that found it was no longer needed. Proposed more than a decade ago, the arterial was deemed necessary to improve traffic movements across the city. However, a recent review triggered by Rotorua District Council's new financial framework has found there are better, more cost-effective solutions available. Rotorua Deputy Mayor Dave Donaldson, who announced the decision yesterday, said council would now focus on looking at options to make Amaho Street fit for purpose to provide better inner-city links. He said the arterial was intended as a way to manage traffic movement across the city, but the review had found that more than 80% of vehicles were actually travelling into rather than across the CBD. 16 properties were purchased by council for the project, and the council will be offering the previous owners a buyback option and will make contact with affected parties. People impacted by the proposed Victoria Street arterial who did not hear from the council are encouraged to phone 07 348 4199 to provide current contact details. Hundreds dressed up in their pink best last night for the Rotorua Breast Cancer Trust's annual Pink Walk. The Pink Walk is the Breast Cancer Trust's primary fundraiser that helps not only to build awareness of breast cancer, but to support those in Rotorua that are experiencing the breast cancer journey. Dress for Success is reporting that local interest in next week's Handbag Heaven event is high, with tickets selling fast to the premier event. Local manager Kay Littler says the vintage handbag auction will be a special event where women can dress up, have fun, win great prizes, as well as bid on some fantastic handbags.
Yes, it's the third time we'll be running Handbag Heaven, and essentially we'll be auctioning some new and pre-loved handbags, and some of them will be vintage handbags, all in beautiful condition, so people can come along and bid on their favourite handbag. In sport tonight, Rotorua gymnasts took part in their first national championships earlier this month, with many winning medals at the championships. MIGS Gym took 35 gymnasts to the National Gym Sports Championships, which were held in Auckland. However, their success was tainted by the theft of their medals and memorabilia when the gym van was robbed.
The kids have done well. Gym Sports has sent them replacement medals and some souvenirs to replace what was taken. But the kids are doing well. We're going to have a barbecue for them all soon, just so that they can end
on a positive note.
Yeah, exactly.
To your weather update now. Tonight, fine with gale westerly easing and an overnight low of 9. Tomorrow, Friday, fine spells with the chance of afternoon showers, westerlies a high of 17 and a low of 8. And looking out to Saturday, fine morning and evening cloud, westerlies easing a high of 19 and a low of 9. In the marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for Friday, westerlies rising to 20 knots in the morning, easing to 15 knots in the evening, with waves about a half a metre, with fine spells and odd showers. Still to come in tonight's program, we meet tomorrow's neighbour in our community speaker, Gloria Zamora. We're at the Fordlands Community Centre to catch up with trustee Marnie Flavel, and we check out the Australian Mighty 11 BMX riders who who were in town last week practicing for the National Championship.
It is time to meet the neighbour in our community for this month. Her name is Gloria Zamora and she is from California. Gloria, how long have you been in beautiful New Zealand?
I've been here a little over 2 years.
And how have you found it so far?
Different, beautiful and different.
Where are you from originally? Because you are from California, yes, but what's your descent?
Very Latin. My father's from Spain, my mother's from Mexico. In California, we're termed Chicano, Mexican Americans, and yeah, very Hispanic.
And what endeavoured you to come all the way over down here, down to this part of the world?
At the time, a couple years ago, I was working in the entertainment industry in Los Angeles, and I was at the Cannes Film Festival, and I met a wonderful Kiwi from Rotorua, and we spoke on the phone for 7 months and came out to give it a shot.
Yeah. And you said it's different, but in what way? What way is it different?
First, weather-wise.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared for as much rain. I think if I was from Oregon or Seattle, I would have been a little bit more prepared. And the first year that I was here, I think it rained 8 months pretty nonstop. And my partner told me that that was unusual, but that was my first impression, of Rotorua particularly. And just, I think California, it's a fast-paced place. So it's taken me a bit to get used to a much slower way of life, and yeah.
So is it like, there's been a saying, or I've heard it a few times, that coming to New Zealand is like going back in time. Is it similar? Is it correct?
I would agree.
Okay.
I would agree, yes. Right. I've been privileged to live in 5 countries in my life, and I would say, yes, definitely New Zealand's a lot slower.
Okay, so you're giving a talk at the end of this month on the 31st. What are you going to be sharing? Are you going to be educating the community and the members of our community about California? And if so, what are you going to be sharing?
Yes. I think that California is misinterpreted, and in my short time here in Rotorua, I get the impression that people think Californians or the United States in general is very materialistic, and I just want to share as to why I understand why they get that impression, because I understand the entertainment industry, having been in it. What they don't know about California is that they're seeing a snippet of the Kardashians or whatever they're watching at that time, and the entertainment industry puts that out. But California is, if California became a nation state, it would be the 7th largest economy in the world. We do something like $2.8 trillion in business a year. We house the technology, IBM, Yahoo, Google, all of those come out of the Northern California. We're a huge agricultural center for the United States, and we provide, I think it's 25 to 30% of the agriculture for the country itself. There's a lot more than just Hollywood.
Okay. Is it true that the strawberries that we buy in our supermarkets actually come from California?
They do, and most of them, and I look at this, it's from the city that I actually come from. It's the strawberry capital of the world. It's called Watsonville, and I actually grew up picking strawberries.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you miss about home? What do you miss? What did you wish that was here that just isn't here?
Convenience.
Explain.
Convenience. California is built in blocks, and you have a grocery store for every so many, for so much of the population. They put stores. Where like here, I have to drive to where they put 3 across the street. So it's quite inconvenient to have to drive so far, and it does. The planning, the malls. I miss being able not so much because it's easy with online now to get things in, but that instant being able to go after work to a mall, till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night and shop and get what you need rather than having to work your day around on your lunch break to go get what you need because things close down early. I do miss that.
Okay. So we hear that it's different here. We hear that there are things you miss, but what do you love about New Zealand, and in particular Rotorua?
Particular Rotorua, I love the lakes. I've been fortunate to work with the Bay of Plenty Regional Council on a contract in the lakes program and helping to clean these lakes. And I've really learned to love Rotorua for the lakes and the passion that society has for the environment here. We don't have that necessarily in California. You know, I've being on the working in science here. Just understanding what really goes into keeping lakes clean is phenomenal. It's a big program, and it's really put me more in touch with the environment side that I don't, in California you get into, if you're in technology, you stay in technology, or, it's a little bit different. So I love that.
So you've been exposed to a little bit of diversity.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
But in a different kind of way, really.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Well, thank you so much, Gloria, for a moment of your time, and I hope that our Rotorua community do get out and they do come and have a listen to your talk at the end of the month. So Gloria will be down at the Rotorua Arts Village on Friday the 31st. If you want to see her, be there between about 11:30 to 1:30. City News has popped down to the Fordlands Community Centre, where their aim is to get all the community involved and to educate the community about all the things that they can get in touch with. We're going to pop over there to speak with the centre manager to see how the day's going. What are you doing down here today?
We're just showing the families down here a little bit about our centre and our other centre, our ABC centre, so they know some of the options they've got for early childhood.
How did you find out about today?
My great friend Raywin told me about today. She sent me a flyer via an email.
So we're here with Tia Kahukiwa, who is the playgroup coordinator. Tia, did you put on some of these activities today?
I helped.
You helped?
I helped set up some of the activities, like the food station over there and the play area with the blocks and everything.
With me today we have Marnie Flavel, who is the president or the chairperson of what's the name of the community?
Ko te tuara tōtara o Fordlands, or strengthening the backbone of Fordlands. It's the community group that was formed a few years back just to help bring the Fordlands community together and stuff like this, I suppose, yeah.
Thank you, I wouldn't have been able to get that mouthful out. You're having quite a successful day by the looks of it. What are you showcasing?
This is more for the younger rangatahi or tamariki that are preschool, I suppose, early childhood. Through one of our people that work with me on the committee, Gina Royal, she's organised this day more for the rangatahi, so they can get to know other departments and other foundations from around Rotorua, especially in this area, so we can once again strengthen the backbone of Fordlands.
So what this is about is getting all the organisations here.
Yep.
So that the locals can be educated about what it is that they can have access to?
That's correct. So it's just a matter of working together, I suppose, with other community groups and other foundations, just other people throughout other communities as well, just to bring once again our community together.
And so who have you got here today?
So we've got different organisations. You've got Plunkett, which is an amazing organisation. We've also got childcare educators and all types of stuff, basically. Yeah.
Now, this is quite a special building that you're in because it doesn't belong to you, does it? Who does it belong to?
No, it doesn't belong to us, but they allow us to use it. It actually belongs to Housing New Zealand, and they've been great throughout this entire process, and just basically given us the run of the entire place, and they have one little room here, one little room that they get to work out of, and we run everything else.
So who's your team? Who have we got down here?
Okay, so we've got myself, you've also got Rosina, who you met earlier, who was our office manager. Then you've got Gina Royal, she's around here somewhere, you're going to find her amongst all these people. Gina's she works for early childhood education, and she's also part of our executive committee as a treasurer. We've also got Mariah, who also helps put this day together, and then Billy Joe.
And how did you get the word out?
Well, it's great having Gina on board because she's got the networking, she's got the network to get out into the community and get the word out there for us. My job is basically to go, yeah, okay then.
Okay, you're the yes man.
Yeah, I'm the yes man, yeah.
So is this the first one that you've held?
This is the second one we've held. The first one was just as successful. So we thought we'll hold another one to get some more of our tamariki back here again.
And what's the feedback that you've had from the locals?
It's been actually good feedback in regards to these type of days, because it's showing that we care, that we're trying to do something, and it's part of our strategic plan to get out there and get the community back together again.
And is it working?
It is working. I mean, it's been a long road. I've only been in this position for just going on 5 months now. So it's been a long and tiresome road, but we're getting there, yeah.
What are some of your success stories?
Well, some of our success stories, a lot of our other rangatahi in the Fordlands community have gone out and got jobs through what we do now, and they've also gone on to train themselves more or educate themselves more in Waireki, which then leads to better themselves as well and get jobs.
So today really is for the younger members of our community. So what do you do for the older members of the community?
We try and do a lot of things for the older community. So we hold tea and coffee where they can sit down and they can talk to each other, not only just amongst themselves but the rangatahi, so they've got that communication. We don't want that barrier, and we don't want them to be separated from each other because they are the same.
Oh, beautiful. Hey, look, thank you so very much. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, not really. I'd just like to say I'm glad to be in this position, and I took over this position from my dad, who passed away a few months ago.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I'm just so honoured to be
proud.
and
You're
I'm trying to walk in the same footsteps. So, but yeah, thank you.
Oh, kia ora mani. So there you go. If you're in the Fordlands community area, come down and pop in here. What's the name of it again?
Ko te tuara tōtara o Fordlands.
Ka pai.
Well, just behind us here, you probably noticed a bit of action and a bit of noise. The Mighty 11s are here from Australia, BMX races, world champions in the making in actual fact, and they're here to train here in Rotorua at the BMX track for the North Island champs that are coming up in Pukekohe. And with me is the man he's not the slave driver or the whip cracker. Grant Ginger, welcome. Shame about the test.
Oh, hit me straight away with that. Thank you very much. I'll get over it slowly. I have a bet where I have to wear a Kiwi jersey for a week.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, we won't focus on that anyway.
That's okay.
But, indeed, seriously, a warm welcome to Rotorua and to New Zealand. These young guys, they're the Mighty 11s.
Yeah.
A little bit of background about them.
Okay, a little bit of background is these guys are basically the best 8 Australian athletes, 4 girls, 4 boys. We traditionally race in a test series against your 4 best girls and boys. It's been going for around about 27, 28 years.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a long time, yeah. It's a great tradition for the sport. And these guys actually ride out of their skin for 11-year-olds. When you watch them race, you wouldn't know they were 11.
Now, just talking before we went to air, that some of them have actually been to world champs. At that age, what an amazing experience for them, and even to travel across the ditch, as it were, at 11 years old, it's great.
Unbelievable experience for them, either Worlds or here. Worlds is something that is hard to comprehend for 11-year-olds. world. But yeah, we have 3 of the guys in the boys and 3 of the ladies in the girls that have done world championships. In actual fact, we have 2 world plate holders in the boys at the moment, and 2 world plate holders in the girls, so it's very good.
Why is it important to start them young? I mean, obviously you've got to build up. In any sport, it's good to start them young, eh?
Very much so. I think this type of competition and challenge, as it were, prepares them a little bit later for that older challenge when they get to the 15, 16, 17s, when these kids are pushing for Olympic selection. So it's very important to get it right, put a regime in, make sure they're focused, yeah?
Now we're here and they are doing training. Now it's all very well, of course Rotorua here has got one of the best tracks in the country.
Absolutely.
But when you talk about training, they're behind us here, as you probably just heard.
Yeah.
What are they doing? I mean, is it just a matter of going around and round and round, or you've got to train them and coach them? You are the coach. So.
Absolutely. Look, there's a strategy to BMX. Strategy is very simple. Be as fast as you can out of the gate and attack every obstacle that you come to as best as you can and as aggressively as you can. These guys, 4 guys and 4 girls, are going to race in teams. And it's unusual. Normally these are individual sportsmen for individual results, except the way that these guys race is going to be 4 girls against 4 girls, and they're going to race and push each other and allowed to race as a team and block and attack and so on. Same for the guys.
So as far as you're concerned in the coaching and the training side, it's a matter of strategies and I would imagine a lot of it's mental too, isn't it?
Very much so. I talk about BMX a lot and it's hard to comprehend, but BMX, my theory is probably, and shared theory by a lot of coaches, it's probably 85 to 90% mental and 10% physical. We can give them all the same physical attributes, but you have to be very much turned on here to say you believe you're going to do it, yeah?
And at this age, at 11 years old, is it hard to get them to focus, or are they pretty dedicated?
They're dedicated when they really want to be dedicated. They have a great time. You've also got to have a balance, as you say, at 11 years old. You don't want to be hammering kids this age. You want to encourage them and mentor them along. So it's a lot of fun. But for them to focus like this, I mean, as we said, they've been to Worlds, so they're very focused individuals as it is.
Kids of 11 years of age, it's a bit of an adrenaline buzz too, isn't it?
Very much so. It can get overwhelming for some children, some athletes. I keep calling them children. It's not fair because they're athletes. It can be overwhelming, but the adrenaline kicks in, and I think that takes them through to the end. Yeah.
And just finishing off, obviously here in Rotorua, there's going to be some downtime, so you're going to be, they're athletes, but they're tourists as well, aren't they?
Very much. This experience is very much a cultural experience. These kids, I hope, these kids are billeted in families. We don't stay in motels and exorbitant type of hotel bills. These kids are taken up by your families, which are great to do so, and they form friendships across the Tasman, which become friendships for life, or they have been in my experience in the time that I've been doing it.
And so there's lots of things that you're going to be doing while you're here in Rotorua to help them enjoy a bit of life as well.
Absolutely. We've been to Mitai last night, for instance, and they've absolutely jumped out of their skin at that. And you have many of those cultural centres here, so it's a great thing for them to see. They get to go to we go to the springs and we go to the mud pools and so on, and they understand a little bit about the geography and the background about what New Zealand is, and that's very, very important, yeah?
Sure.
So
the North Island Champs coming up, you're looking forward to that in terms of taking a few trophies back across the ditch?
Look, at the moment we're the holder of the boys and the girls trophy, which is great. However, if you put a line down the middle and said for 27, 28 years, you could almost put one plaque between the Kiwis and the Aussies.
They say that the hardest part of being a success is staying a success, so I guess that applies as well.
100% it applies, and you've got to learn different ways to challenge the kids and push them on.
Sure. Appreciate you being here, enjoy the time, and good luck. Don't win too many races at the North Island Champs.
We'll do the very best we can. Thank you very much, Wayne.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That was Australian BMX coach Grant Ginger speaking with Wayne Douglas. To contact City News, you can phone the station on 07 3488 984 or email news@tv.rotorua.co.nz. Thanks for joining us tonight. From all the team here at City News, Pumaria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News on TV Rotorua was proudly brought to you by Rotorua Central.